Hello everyone and welcome to the Uni Podcast. I'm Geronimo Ivo and today we have a very special discussion about English language pedagogy and multilingual Timor-Leste context. As you know, Timor-Leste is a multilingual country. Students speak Tetun, Portuguese, local language, and they are also learning English. Teaching this context has a unique challenge and opportunities. Today we are excited to have a teacher Clara with us, who has extensive experience teaching English in multilingual classroom. Welcome, teacher Clara.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Let's start with a simple introduction.
Simple introduction?
Yeah.
Yes, so my name is Claire Cooper. I'm a lecturer at Charlestown University and I teach in the education course there, and that is one job, and then my other job is teaching children from other countries who don't speak English, and that is for Catholic education in South Australia. Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit about yourself and your experience teaching English?
Teaching English, yes. So I first started teaching English. I worked in a little community in the middle of Australia, which is where the first Australians, some of the first Australians, the Indigenous people live, and they all spoke a different language. They all spoke Pidgin-Jara, and I didn't speak this language, and so for me that was the first time teaching English in a multicultural, multilingual environment. And then I came back to Adelaide where I live, and I loved it. I missed working with the children from different countries. So I did some more training. I did 2 more university courses, one in TESOL and then Masters in Linguistics. And I taught children and also adults, so refugees, migrants from so many countries, all over the world, people who came to Australia, and it's my passion. I really enjoy it.
Thank you. How long have you been teaching English?
26 years.
26 years.
26 years, yes. I finished my teaching degree when I was 21. I was very young, and yes, I went to England for a little while teaching, but I missed Australia, so I came back and worked here. Yeah.
What levels of students do you usually teach?
I teach every level, So at the school, I teach from like 4 or 5 years of age, so early childhood. And then I teach all the primary, so I work with all the children, and then I teach adults as well. So then I teach adults who don't speak English, and that is ones who have just arrived as well as those that are at university. And then I've also taught English at secondary school as well, so I have taught at every level. Yeah.
What language do students speak in your classes?
So many languages. So the children I speak, we have a lot of children who speak Vietnamese. We have a lot of children from India, and they speak many languages. They speak Malayalam and Hindi and many different languages. And then there's, Chinese and Japanese and African languages. So many languages, yeah.
For your experience, what makes teaching English in Timor-Leste different from the other countries?
It is a little different because often these students are strong in one language. They have their first language, and maybe they can read and write and speak that language, very well. And then I think in Timor-Leste you have so many languages. So the children, they have their mother tongue, they have Tetun, they have Portuguese, and they have English as well. So they have a lot of languages, and they are so clever because they are learning them all at the same time, and that's really good actually. So it is a little different. And of course, when you are in Australia, they have English everywhere. It is the mother language, so they hear it all around them. Whereas in Timor-Leste, they would mostly hear English in the classroom. Yeah.
Thank you. And can you share a specific classroom story?
Special classroom story.
Yeah.
Let me think. I remember, I was working in a school and we had some refugees. Refugees, from Syria. And their parents were killed in the war, and these children had been rescued and brought to Australia to be safe. But of course they were very sad. Their family had been killed, their parents had been killed in the war, and they were very sad. And I used to sit and read stories with them. And I remember there was a boy, and I was reading a funny story with him, and he was smiling and he was laughing, and for me that was a really special time because he had come from such a sad place, and now he was safe and he was enjoying the story and smiling and laughing. So for me that was a special time. Yeah. Very
interesting. From your experience, what are the biggest challenges for English teacher here?
Challenges for you? Yes, you do have challenges. I think resources will be hard for you. I brought some books with me, but I feel like I need to bring you 100 books. So I think having access to English resources will be a challenge for you. As well as, like I said before, the only time the children have access to English much is in the classroom. So you need to have, in your English lessons, lots of English. So I think that is, a challenge for you, but you can do it. Yeah.
Thank you. How do you manage students with very different English levels?
Yes, I think you can manage different levels. I use, a lot of stories, and so everybody can enjoy the stories, and like we've been practicing in the classroom, you can tell the story in English and you can tell the story in another language. So you can tell it in Tetun and you can teach the English, and that way, at any level, the children can enjoy the story, and then you can teach, some maybe the sounds, some letters, some maybe can have some more vocabulary and sentences, but there's always, everybody can enjoy the story all together, and then you can have some different activities for the different levels related to that story.
Very interesting. And students of the mixed Tetun, Portuguese or local language in class, how do you handle that?
I think that's excellent. That's what we call sort of code switching. They can, change between different languages as they feel comfortable. That's okay. That's a good thing. So I would encourage that in the classroom. And we've seen that in the classroom here. People start talking English, and then they don't know the English, so they switch to Tetun, and then we can teach them the English, so that then they learn. I think it's okay to have lots of languages in the classroom, and that's actually a very good thing.
Thank you. Do you think always some use of Tetun or Portuguese helps hinders learning?
Yes, definitely. Because if you can explain, if you can teach the English by using Tetun or Portuguese, then they understand. So in Australia, like in my school, we teach Italian. The children learn Italian. We do not teach them Italian in Italian, They don't know enough. We use English to teach Italian. So the same way you can use Tetun or Portuguese to teach English, and that way they understand better. Could
you share an example of the challenging classroom moment, and how do you handle it?
Yeah, challenges in the classroom. I think sometimes we have children who come from another country that have very little English, and they are a long way behind the other children, and that can be a big challenge for them because they feel very scared, and they are in a new country and a new language, and for them it's very difficult for them. So we need to create support and look after them, and sometimes we take them out of the classroom and we do lots of English teaching with them, so that then when they go back to the classroom they feel more confident. So that is a big challenge for us because everyone has a little different level, but if they come from another country, sometimes they're very, very low level, so that can be a challenge, supporting them.
Thank you. What method have you found most effective for multilingual classroom?
Yeah, so like I said, I find using stories very effective for multilingual classrooms because stories are quite universal. You know, all cultures have stories, Many cultures have stories, and children all over the world like stories, and adults like stories as well. So we can share stories. You can take the English stories and change them to Tetun, you could change them to Portuguese. So I find using stories very an engaging way to give the children some context, and you can change the stories as you want to, they're just for ideas, and it works well.
Thank you. How do you encourage such students to speak English?
To start speaking English, I think you make it fun. You need to make it fun so they are not scared to try. So games are really good. You can play games with them. You can sing songs in English. Tomorrow I'm teaching my class some action rhymes. We have little songs like Insy Wincy Spider, and you do it with your hands and you can sing. And I think for young children, through just having fun and joining in and singing and playing games is a good way to start, and then having stories as well. So it needs to be fun and just enjoyable for them. We don't want to make it too hard or they'll be too scared to try.
Thank you. And do you use group work, pair activities, or games?
All of them. So yes, definitely lots of games. Pair work and group work is good. When we do group work, it can be good if you have some more confident children. Put one in each group, because the children can learn from each other. And so if you have some groups that are a bit mixed abilities, so some low and some a little bit higher level, and some shy children and some more confident children, then they can help each other. That works well for group work.
How important is the speaking practice compared to grammar instruction?
I think you need to start with speaking practice because they need to know the words and understand the words, and then the grammar is still important. The grammar instruction is still important, but they need to, again, if you have some context, if it's some vocabulary, some songs, some stories that you have learned, that then you use to teach the grammar. So explicit teaching of grammar is important, but they need to have some vocabulary and some speaking first.
Do you use technology or social media in your teaching?
I don't use social media. In Australia, all social media is banned for children. No children under 16 years are allowed to use social media now. It is all banned. They have just recently the government decided it was not good for children to use social media, so now only if they are over 16. Technology, yes, sometimes. There are some good games, like English games you can use on iPads and on laptops. I don't use, to be honest, I don't use much technology. I actually prefer to use, real books, real games, real songs with children in particular. So I might use like a projector, but again, I feel like in a lot of education they use too much technology in Australia, and so the children are always looking at the screen and they are not looking at the teacher. And if they look at the teacher, they can see their mouth, like how to make the sounds of English. If they are looking at the screen, they don't see that. If they're looking at the teacher, they can learn how to write the letters, whereas on the screen, it's just there, okay? They don't see how to make it. So with children, I actually don't use much technology, really, just a little bit,
Thank you. Can you give an example? How do you correct mistakes without discouraging students?
Yes, I can give an example. So I would, when a child gives an answer and it is wrong, I would use what we call recasting. So if a child says, I don't know, I'm trying to think of an example, maybe, we've been doing Handa Surprise in our class, and maybe you might say, how many fruits are in the basket? And, maybe they pronounce the word a little bit wrong. So maybe you say, what is the girl's name? And instead of saying Handa, they say Panda. And you can say, oh yes, sounds like panda, doesn't it? It sounds like panda, but the word is handa. Can you say handa? So you still encourage them for having a try, and then you say it back to them the correct way. And maybe if you count how many fruits in the basket and they say 6 and the answer is 7, you would say, let's count them together, and then the child can help you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you say, how many? And they say 7. Very good. So if we tell them they are wrong all the time, they will lose confidence to try. So it's about recasting, accepting their answer, and then saying it back the right way and getting them to practice the right way.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
What advice would you give a new English teacher in Timor-Leste?
I think I think you are so clever. I think the teachers in Timor-Leste, because you are learning, to teach in Tetun and Portuguese and English. So I think you just need to try, just keep trying and teach what you know, okay, and what you feel comfortable with. So if you have an activity that is using English that is at your level and you feel comfortable, then do that and do that well. Do that as a good job. Don't feel you have to teach beyond your ability and knowledge. And I think you need to keep learning English yourself. So keep going to your English classes and trying really hard to improve your English. You can, also listen to English music, watch English movies, try to improve your own English, practice speaking English with your friends, and then just try what you can do and do that well.
Thank you. What advice would you give students struggling to learn English?
Again, I would just really keep encouraging them to try, and I think for them understanding the purpose of learning English, so maybe they could, sometimes I think children, they know Timor-Leste, they don't know the rest of the world very well. So you can show them, all these other countries, and here is Timor-Leste, And in many of these countries, English is spoken. Even if it is not the first language, many countries still have English as a language of communication. So if they learn to speak English, they can communicate with people from all of these other places. Yeah, and it can help them have good opportunities for education as well. Yeah. So I would keep explaining to them why they are learning English. If they understand why, then maybe they will try. And make it fun for them, not too scary.
What habit or practice really helps students improve quickly?
Improve quickly? Well, lots of practice. Yes, and you repeat the activities. Yes, so you can use the same story lots of times. You can use the same song a lot of times. And till they get very confident with it. So I would, repeating and let them learn these things very well. They can learn the stories very well, they can learn the songs very well, and that will give them, confidence.
Thank you. What's your hope for the future of English education in Timor-Leste?
I hope that the new generation can become strong in English, and this will open good opportunities for them. So I talked to my class. I said, I asked my students, why do you think students need to learn English in Timor-Leste? And they said for education, opportunities with education, and for travel. So if they want to come to Australia, then they can come and visit Australia and speak English. If they want to maybe go to university in Australia or another country, if they are strong in English, then they have all these opportunities. So,
thank you. Can you give a real life example where your advice made the difference?
I think, yes, I have. In my school, we have the same, like you go on a practicum to teach in a school when you are learning. Okay, when you are a student, you go into a school. And in my school, I have had some student teachers, and they have come to me with we call it EALD, English as an additional language or dialect, so EALD, it's quite a long acronym. So we have these student teachers, students learning to be teachers, pre-service teachers, and some of them, they have come to me and I have been able to give them good advice and show them how to teach the children, and now they are finished and now they are teachers, and some of them are working at our school, and so now I see them teaching their children in this way, and that makes me very proud.
Thank you so much, Teacher Clara, for letting your insight to express. Before I finish, and you have any final message you'd like to share with our listeners?
I think, I'm very proud of all of you. I think you are the new generation, the new generation in Timor-Leste, learning to be teachers and caring for your children. So I think you will make a really big difference in their education, and they will grow strong, and they will have strong, good minds for thinking and learning and have lots of new opportunities. So keep working hard, keep working hard, go to your classes and learn as much as you can to be the best teacher you can.
Thank you for joining to us today, and thanks to everyone listening. And remember to like, share and subscribe so you don't miss the future episode. See you next time, and goodbye.
Bye.
Podcast.